This may not surprise you, but Dell has a lot of new gaming laptops at CES this year, both from Alienware and from Dell proper. Now, if you look at the Alienware line, there's the X Series and the M Series. The X Series is thinner, the M Series is more full power. So on the X line, they're going to have 14-inch and 16-inch models, and on the M line, they're going to have 16-inch and, get ready for this, 18-inch models. More on that in a second. And then there's also the Dell G Series, which is their lower cost gaming laptops. They're going to have 15-inch and 16-inch versions of those that are actually pretty different from the ones that you've seen previously. And I'm excited about this series of changes and new models because the Alienware X15 was one of my favorite gaming laptops of 2022, and the Dell G15 and G16 I thought were really good budget gaming laptops. So in 2023, you got big changes across the board. First of all, visually, Alienware has this design language that they call Legend, and this is going to be the third iteration of that. They did a lot of focus group testing, a lot of design ideas and sketches and mood boards. So they went through 1, 2. This new version of it is shifting a little bit away from the previous one, which had a lot of like matte white, kind of stark futuristic look kind of designs. This is more silver and dark metal, but still a lot of contrast. So just, an evolution of that Legend design. They also took the little fins under the laptop and made it more of a all-around rectangle that goes under there, almost like a little laptop mini stand underneath it, and that allows for better airflow. They've also cleaned up the back of the units to make them a little flatter, a little easier to pick up and carry. When you have it closed, you kind of put it under your arm. The previous versions kind of stuck out a little bit in the back and were not as easy to carry around. Interestingly, all the screens are moving to a 16:10 aspect ratio, which is becoming increasingly common across laptops everywhere. And this further differentiates gaming laptops from console gaming on a TV, where you're playing on a 16:9 TV. That has not changed, not changing anytime soon. But a lot of laptops, even gaming ones, are going 16:10 now. That gives you a little more height, so it changes the resolution that you're going to be playing at, and it just gives you, less of a widescreen look, more top to bottom space. I find that's frankly more practical for a lot of things, not just gaming, but also reading documents, scrolling through web pages. I think it's a welcome change, and almost everyone's adopting it now. Another thing they're adding that everyone else is adopting is full HD webcams. That's just table stakes now, frankly. If you don't have a full HD webcam on anything that's not a super budget computer, I don't know what you're doing, because we're all doing hybrid work now. We're on a lot of video meetings. You need at least a 1920 by 1080 full HD resolution webcam. I think we're getting there now. And I think the biggest overall news out of the new Alienware systems is that there's going to be an M Series 18, the Alienware M18 18-inch screen. It's not the only 18-inch screen gaming laptop I've seen for CES so far this year. Clearly, that's going to be a trend. I think almost everyone is going to end up with an 18-inch gaming laptop. I, for one, think that's super cool. We have not had those in a while. I went and looked back at my own reporting history, and I found that I had reviewed an 18-inch Alienware back in 2013. I think that might have been the last year they had that. But these big screens, I think they're super cool, especially when you can make the laptops a little bit thinner, a little bit lighter. They're not like the giant tanks that older 18-inch screen laptops were. So the new Alienware systems, including that M18, they're going to have the next generation Intel and NVIDIA parts, also AMD, but for Intel, that's going to be the 13th gen Core i series chips. There's going to be the 4000 series GPUs from NVIDIA. I think you're going to see that in a lot of gaming laptops starting at CES and going throughout the year. And for something like this big giant 18-inch laptop, obviously cooling is a big deal. There's a bigger vapor chamber, there's more heat pipes, they've expanded the fans to put more air through it, all things you need when you have just a giant hulking box like this. The other big notable thing is the X16, which is a slim 16-inch gaming laptop. Dell has not had a 16-inch gaming laptop since apparently 2004. Now, getting away from Alienware, because that's expensive stuff, Dell also has the G Series, which I've always liked because it brings in some of the Alienware stuff, but it's closer in spirit to Dell's modest Inspiron laptops, but they don't call it that, they just call it the G Series. And they have, as they had in 2022, they have a 15-inch, the G15, and they have a 16-inch, the G16. There's not a ton new here other than moving up to the current generation, that 13th generation Intel, the new NVIDIA 4000 series, new AMD chips and GPUs. The big change here I see is visual. It's really a striking, bold design that I would not expect to see in a budget gaming laptop. Instead of just kind of dull gray, the previous G Series laptops just look very generic. There's a lot of bold contrast, bold colors here. There's purple and blue and bright matte white, all kind of shoved together, and you really have some great looks, really stands out. Listen, laptops are very visual. You carry them around with you, they sit on your desk, you want them to look nice. I appreciate anybody who has a bold new design look, and I think these are frankly some of the coolest looking laptops I've seen at CES, even though they're not the fanciest and not the most expensive. The Alienware laptops are coming this winter. They're going to start with the high-end configurations first. The M18 is going to start at $2,900. The G Series laptops are coming in the spring. They, of course, start much less. They're going to start at $850 and go up from there. The G Series is usually a really good value for PC gaming, and I don't see that changing in 2023.